Well, we have a lot of influences. The team's always wanted to make a survival horror game. So for
But
us,
there's not enough of them, so...
well, and we thought taking it into space was actually lets us really innovate in that genre.
Mm-hmm.
So to us, we have obviously, watching tons of movies, both horror and sci-fi. We've always wanted to build a sci-fi horror game. So for us, taking survival horror in a new direction by going into space, going 400 or 500 years into the future, by letting us play around with dismemberment and the new weapons and the zero-G, that to us is the really exciting opportunity, because it feels like, there's some great games in the survival horror space, but it feels like we can carve out our own niche by doing something kind of different
what
there.
we saw, it was very impressive. Like, I don't know if this is just because of the new technology that you can do these things, but like you said, the dismemberment, you cut off their legs, and they'll still crawl towards you.
Right.
That's a couple of the guys on the website. That's what we've always talked about. Like, if you can cut an arm off, the guy should still come at you.
Right.
Which is really fun to see. You mentioned like the atmosphere while we were having the little demo. And in space, the sort of ambient sound.
Right.
I struggle to play some horror games just because they're so immersive. Do you think I'll be able to make it through, or am I gonna like?
Well, we hope you'll be scared. We hope it'll be a constant battle where you're thinking, I don't want to go down that hallway.
Yeah.
I don't want to open that door because I just know something bad is waiting for me. But I have to do it. I
Yeah.
have to, because I want to know what happened. And what we aren't showing people yet is the story. And we think that the story, I mentioned that it has kind of those three layers, where the middle layer, the one that everyone knows about Isaac just trying to fix the ship, is supported by this conspiracy that you'll uncover as you're going through the game. And the top of it is Isaac's real reason for being here,
like the
this
ulterior
mission.
motives, and
Exactly.
also the alien. Does the alien
Exactly.
sort of does it have a name yet?
We call them necromorphs.
Necromorphs, because they obviously take over.
They're
the
dead,
bodies
they
and-
take over that body, and then they
Yeah.
morph it into the appendages. So, we think that players will want to discover that. And what's really exciting now is, as we're building the game, we're starting to get all the scripted moments in where you're seeing the story developed. We don't take control away from the player, but you'll be in a room and you'll be able to see other things happening. I can't, I have to be kind of vague because we don't want to give away stuff yet.
Fair enough.
But that is what we think is going to drive you to like, okay, I've got to see what happens next. But in general, we want it to be unsettling, right? We want, even when there's no combat happening in a room, we want you to walk in and say, something really bad happened here, and it doesn't look good. So,
Do you think the sorry, first of all, is it going to have an online component at all? Is it purely?
no, it's purely single player,
Yep.
and the reason for that is we think survival horror is very personal. We want you to feel just like Isaac. There's no one coming to save you. There's no one you can count on except for you. You're in this by yourself. Obviously, you saw that you'll get mission updates from other people. There are other people alive on the ship,
Right.
and we'll be releasing more details on that in the future. But you're experiencing this by yourself.
You're in it for your own
Exactly.
survival, and so that rules out co-op as well.
Correct.
Completely. And you mentioned pausing, like the inventory. Obviously, you can pause the game, and if you
You need to go get yourself a sandwich, whatever. That
Makes
will
it
not
making-
stop you from doing that.
Yeah.
But what we will not let you do is manage your inventory, or use a health pack, or check your map, or do anything that you normally can take away the tension of, I'm getting attacked, let me go in, let me use a health pack. So obviously there's a lot of testing that we have to do, because it can't be frustrating, it can't be hard to use a health pack, it can't be hard to check your map, because you need to be able to do that in the heat of combat perhaps. But what we do want is this constant feeling of pressure where I'm never safe. Just like with the ventilation system, where an enemy can crawl into the room where you are. There's no enemies in here, doors are all shut, wait a minute, there's a vent up there. We want the player to think, could something be coming out of that vent? And that, combined with the inventory management system, really just creates this constant feeling of pressure and tension, and I'm never really safe.
Yeah, no, it's I love the sort of the curb stomp, sort of Gears of War sort of style, the drop kick. I mean, how many sort of new gameplay features? Like, do you think you've added enough, or too many, or just the right amount? Or?
Well, so it's two different things. What you've got is a regular melee attack.
Yeah.
You can either swing the weapon, or you can do the curb stomp.
Right.
Based on where your orientation
proximity,
is, and then to the enemy. But then we also have paired animations. So we aren't talking yet about how many we have,
Right.
but we definitely want it to be really, really fun when something grabs you, like that that little creature did.
Were they babies?
They were babies. You know?
Does that kind of creep me out?
It should creep you out. You know, there were babies on the ship, right? And the virus came on board and turned them into some very bad things.
And so there's obviously like it's going to mix it up a bit with the animations and it'll be a little
so
bit
sometimes
sensitive.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see, you know, for example, you may have a paired attack that always works the same way with a certain enemy, but it could be different with a different enemy.
Right.
So we'll mix it up, but also give you some familiarity so you know what you're going to do.
Any inspiration in terms of the character development and the design of the alien necro?
Yeah, the necromorphs actually. There's a guy on the team. His name's Ben, and he must have nightmares, or he gives them to people because he's the one that comes up with a ton of our designs. And there's obviously inspirations from some movies. You know, there's actually a lot of Japanese influence from movies, and just in terms of unsettling imagery, you know, things you like having a baby as an enemy. You know, things that you feel like I shouldn't be seeing this. But you know, for the most part, it's just a question of what would happen to the human form if just something really, really bad got in there and tried to turn it into a weapon.
Right.
And that's where you get all the blades coming out and extra appendages.
It's scary. So that's coming out Halloween.
Correct.
2008.
Correct.
I'm excited.
Thank you.
I've been looking forward to seeing that in motion. I was happy to see that.
Great. Yeah, us too. We've been working on it for close to 2 years now, so it's great to kind of be getting very close to the end.
That's great. Thanks a lot for your time, Rich.
Excellent. Thank you. Nice talking to you.